If you're full of doubt, just go ahead and turn this right now. If you want to learn some real truth, the secret truth, you always read the Bible, you read this book, you read the Quran, you read this sacred text, you read the Keys of Solomon, but you're always finding something missing, a key, a secret is there that you just aren't reading. Well, it's true, because the truth is about Adam and Eve and the snake. Here's what it all breaks down to, okay? Now, I may mispronounce the words, but here's the idea. The two original words for Adam and Eve were aim and ama. What I'm talking about, aim and ama, is representing the male and the female portion of the brain. The right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, the two halves of the four brains that we have. Now, Egyptian hieroglyph, snake, kaibit. Now you take kaibit, that snake represents the animal instinct, the will, the nature, that drive, that just, I gotta have it, and you jump for it right now because that's the impulse. When you're ruled by the kaibit, it divides the male and female portion of the brain, and then you just wind up learning from your own experiences of knowledge. Therefore, you're going to get results that are good and bad. And you're going to ride the waves, and you're going to have a life of up and down, full of good and bad. And that's what everybody's been eating off of. The tree of knowledge. No matter what we've been talking about, all the secrets break down is finding the tree of life. That's it. If you ain't talking about the tree of life, you ain't found the secret. The Holy Grail is the tree of life. And it all starts with that little simple concept. But when you unify the left and the right portions of those four brains, there's a third in the back and there's a fourth in our gut. Do some Googling. Anyways, when you unite the left and the right hemispheres of the brain and you put those together in use, you will find the tree of life. It's just a natural progression that winds up happening. That was the whole story of Adam and Eve and the snake. That's it. Not people, not three entities, not a snake and an entity, not a snake talking. It was all about you. You. That's who it was about. An angel who had two brains that were both male and female. One was very unifying and one was very segregating. Very different polar opposites sometimes? Yeah? Okay. Very simple story. Okay, don't follow that animal instinct will. Don't follow that kaibit. To describe the tree of life, you have the 9 spheres. These 9 spheres ultimately break down into 11 entities. Let's just call them deities or divine laws, which in total, when you get in depth, you get a total of 42 netru. These 42 netru are extremely detailed and broke down into everyday life for in ancient Egyptian times. Throughout the year, what they did with the Bible is they took these 42 entities and descriptions, and while yes, they do break into the angel hierarchy into describing them, they took these 42 descriptions and embodiments and they literally put it into one, Jesus Christ. No matter what name you want to come up with, no matter what you concept and truth and reality and evidence, it doesn't matter when we wind up talking about how they took 42 distinct different entities and individuals and constructs of how to create the recipe for the tree of life within you, within anyone and everyone. And they put it into a single entity. So it becomes confusing, it becomes questionable, and with everything else on top of it, you can't ever find the truth. But the reality is the Holy Grail is the tree of life, because that's what nobody talks about. The tree of life is it. And the Egyptians had found it. Comedics, ancient Egyptian history, they found the recipe. And now we have access to it. So here it is, 666. You want to know the real meaning of 666 without all the detail flub, all the hidden overshadowing stories? Here's what it breaks down to. Americans, alright, and this is across the world, you're sitting down resting. We're talking about work on the computer, on the laptop. We're talking about watching TV, laying in bed, office work. Alright, what you wind up averaging is 18 breaths a minute. Boom, 18 breaths a minute. Anybody that knows anything about meditating, that wants to be able to get into a deeper Zen state, a trance without drugs, alright, all natural, knows that at the core it starts with your breathing. I mean, there's a few elements, there's a lot of more stuff involved, but it's really about your breathing, okay? Now, let's take that understanding and just jump ahead. What does 18 break down into? 6, 6, 6, 18 breaths a minute. Now, remember that Kai bit that we were talking about? Kai bit. You want to access that animal instinctual nature of yourself. Guess what that trance state is? 18 breaths a minute. There you go. You want to break up the 666. You want to not do the 666. You want to know all the stories, the flubub. Get straight to the heart of the matter. Break up that breathing, brother, sister, my fellow angel. All you got to do if you're feeling kind of funky and like you want to do something like that you know you don't want to do, guess what? Hold your breath for 10 seconds or just 2 slow breaths and deep breaths. Just change up that regular routine of 18 breaths per minute. Boom, you're going to be okay because it's going to get you into a different trance state. I could go into a lot of detail, but every so many seconds, every so many patterns of cycles of those rhythms of breathing gets you into a different state of your being to access a different source of yourself. So thank you very much for tuning in again. We'll get you some of this more quick access knowledge. I love you very much.